Hi, I'm Oliver. Some of you may know me. I graduated Aberdeen University. I ran Author Studios here in Dundee. It's great to be back. And for those of you who don't, it's really nice to meet you all. So I'm currently the lead developer partner manager at AccelByte Inc., where I do a little bit of everything, primarily focusing on helping our clients and our partners launch games and tackling all sorts of challenges in various shapes and sizes. So briefly on AccelByte, we provide a single-tenant backend platform that's truly your own, with our bread and butter generally being enabling cross-platform play, cross-platform commerce, cross-title promotion, a whole load of stuff, e-commerce, everything that you don't want to have to focus on as a game developer. We sort of handle all that. Effectively, it's a white-labeled Battle.net or Epic Online accounts. You own all the data, and all the services are custom tailored to what you need them to be. Basically allowing you to focus on what really matters, which is making your games awesome. And now that my sponsor obligations are over, why does your single-player game need a backend? As the world gets more and more connected, so do the games that we all make and play. Single player doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be disconnected, though, or not online. And you could be missing out on a lot of replayability, user retention, and long-term community engagement if you're not. So the lines have blurred a lot over the years. Most single-player games nowadays aren't truly unconnected. The Dragon Age series is a good example. It's an engaging and memorable single-player experience with consequences of actions affecting other games or choices down the line. BioWare use an online service where you can view and change your save states. And that then means that you can go back, change your decisions, try out a whole new storyline. It's a really cool, engaging system. And The Sims also has online elements with a massive player community that shares households, lots, different items. It's an excellent example of building that community experience in a single player game. And then we also have the From Software, Blood, Souls, whatever you want to call that series of games, where you can leave player messaging, which can be helpful or harmful, as well as someone jumping in and joining you to help not get your butt whooped for the 50th time of Melania. So all types of games can benefit from a backend in three key areas. That's data, engagement and of the community, and quality of life. So studying your players' data through statistics is a really great way of understanding them, their motives, and what is and isn't working in your game. And if you know how people are playing your game, you can then figure out where their interests lie and help drive where your future development should go. And let's be clear, this really is not about making it more predatory or addictive. This is genuinely just about building a better experience for your fans who are already playing your games. You can also find ways to expose these statistics to players in order to create sort of extra layers of engagement. Telltale's hit series, including The Walking Dead, excellent example. Choice-based adventure games, they just let players view whether they're in the majority and how many people chose which different choices, and that fuels online debates for months and months and months. And we all know that bugs make it to users, especially as more SKUs of player hardware are around than ever before. It's impossible to cover every combination. So with a backend and a suitable telemetry pipeline, you can actually see every event that your heart could desire. And then you can create basically a data safety net of sorts to help catch those unreproducible errors as they happen. You'll also likely discover that players are playing your games in ways that you never expected. They might be encountering a bug or a blocker, and you can use all of that data and, again, drive what you're going to do in the future. And we all know that community is important, and building one for a single-player game can be very difficult unless you've got existing hype. A backend can help you craft your community messaging. It can build engagement and make sure that you have that long tail that we're all after. So user-generated content, that's the whole reason that I'm in the games industry. You're giving the player opportunities to tell their own stories, build their own quests, their own worlds, perhaps even their own unique games within your world or your game. It opens up these incredible opportunities for the community to engage in emergent play. Take a look at some of these incredible projects that are out there now. Things like what the Bethesda games communities are building. Fallout London, it's basically like DLC quality content right now. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you've got Mario Maker levels. True ingenuity, it's just absolutely staggering, and the endless hours of content that's creating for thousands of people around the world. So support for UGC and for mods has been proven time and again to be nothing but a boon for developers, and adds endless benefits. Things like boosting your SEO, all those wonderful buzzwords, adding more content, attracting new players. It's just great. We're also seeing more examples of player messaging. So as I mentioned before, with Blood Souls, Bloodborne, whatever you want to call it these days, it's another form of UGC. And whether it's the comments in Super Mario Maker or those helpful messages in Dark Souls, it provides yet another opportunity for players to express themselves, and it makes you feel like you're not alone, forging that connection between the players and the game. Getting lost in games is probably one of the best feelings in the world, at least to me. However, community events can really add to that. They're a great way for making solo players feel more connected and feel like they're not alone. There are other people out there, and you can interact with them, maybe not directly, but you are aware that they then exist. Having the ability to tweak aspects of your game at will is incredibly powerful. Using server-side game data, you can give your players fresh experiences. You provide them with provide you with high user retention, and you can do all this by storing some of that game logic online. It means that you can also throw in new content at any time, much quicker than releasing a patch, especially on console. And you can easily add things like quests, swap in and out characters and NPCs. The world's your oyster there. We really are in the age of cloud saves. With the release of the Steam Deck, you can stop playing on the PC, you can rush out of the house, get in your train, pull out the deck, and pick right up where you left off. Or maybe you need some help from a friend in beating a final boss, but they're on PlayStation, you're on Xbox. That's fine. With a backend, you can link your accounts, upload your save data, go to the house, sign in, there it is, right there for you. We've also seen the rise of companion experiences over the past decade. Some of them are synchronous play, others are an overarching meta influence. Some are just bonus mini-games for you to pull out and play on your phone. You can utilize the player accounts, their data, and everything you know about them to be able to create unique secondary play and engagement experiences wherever they are. So does my single-player game always need to be online? Absolutely not. Of course, it depends on the implementation, but I'm sure we can all point to a game that became simply unplayable, ignore that, where the always online servers were turned off. Yeah, it's become a bit of a selling point these days to be able to say that you'll always be able to play this game, and that's kind of a sad reality. So we recommend to all our players, all our clients, that their single-player game titles ensure that the game functions without ever touching a server, ever calling to the cloud. You should utilize backends to enhance an experience, but not entirely drive it. So you always follow that basic pattern. Make sure you have your basic config, copy, all the stuff you need to be able to run it locally, and then you can update your cache over time. You drive the adoption of your online experiences by making it engaging and worthwhile for the player. So give them some cool in-game rewards, linking accounts, or maybe completing a specific action in this game, or maybe another one of your titles, or your publisher's partners' titles. And the most important part is just make it seamless and effortless. Remove barriers to entry for them. So why does your single-player game need a backend? Well, you can learn a hell of a lot about what your users like about your game. You can keep it fresh for years to come. You can fix balance issues or problems on the fly. You can sync player data and progress across the cloud and onto different platforms. You can own your users' data, and you can reward their loyalty directly. And you can incentivize player engagement and feedback. Again, sponsor a bit here, but AccelByte helps all our clients to operate online games, not exclusively multiplayer games. I'll add one more thing, which is probably of interest here, is that AccelByte now also has a whole free thing called AccelByte Foundations. free up to 500,000 MAU, and give it a shot. It's kind of cool. It's useful. That's it. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you know where I am.
Hello, hello. How are we all doing tonight? Right. As Colin said, I'm Andrew Berry. Most of you, if not all of you, probably won't know who I am. I hope you will help me in changing that by the end of the night. I used to be a data consultant, kind of specializing in data architecture, data warehousing, data analysis, anything data really. However, I've always kind of been circling the edge of the game development community. Until recently this year, I jumped into it, and I'm now working at AccelByte as a developer partner manager. What that means is I do a little bit of everything, but our primary goal is to help our partner game studios launch successfully, tackling challenges and making sure that all their back-end requirements are met. Yeah. So what do we do at AccelByte? We provide single-tenant back-end platforms that are truly your own. They're bespoke and customizable. Our bread and butter is being in a cross-platform play, cross-progression, cloud saves, e-commerce, and yes, it's really your own system. Effectively, we're white-labeled Battle.net or Epic Online accounts, and you own all your data and services, and yeah, as I said, all custom-tailored. It also gives you the time and space to focus on what really makes your games yours, and that's yeah, truly awesome. Just gonna cool. Yeah. So, why does your single-player game need a backend? As the world gets more and more connected, so do the games that our industry develops. Single-player games don't have to be not online or disconnected anymore. You could be losing out on replayability, user retention, and long-term community engagement. The lines between a lot of games have blurred over the years. Most single-player games nowadays aren't truly unconnected. The Dragon Age series is one of my favorites. It's an engaging and complex single-player game where your choices and consequences in one game affect your choices and actions in a later game. And BioWare solved this by using an online service where you can change the save states of your games as you see fit, and you can go back and experience what you could have played. The Sims has online elements with a massive player community sharing households, items, and lots. It's an excellent example of the community experience in a single-player game. Yeah, and indeed, From Software's latest hits, the Souls 1 series, whilst it can be played solo, it's defined by its multiplayer editions. You can leave helpful or harmful messages, and you can summon allies to help you get your butt worked by Millennia, Redan, Godric, Godwin. Yeah, for the 50th time. And it's using a backend really enables just another layer of gameplay immersion. So, all types of games can benefit from a backend in these kind of three key areas: data, community engagement, and quality of life. Data. So studying your players' data and through statistics is a great way to understand them, their motives, what is and isn't working. And yeah, if you know how people are playing your game, you can figure out where player interest lies, and you can use that to drive your future development decisions. Let's be clear, this isn't about making them predatory or addictive. This is about building a better experience for your fans. You can also find ways to expose this data to your players themselves. Telltale's Hit series is a choice-based adventure game where it lets its players see if they're in the majority or the minority when they're making these decisions. It fuels online debates for years and years and months and months. Now, we all know that bugs happen, they make it through to users. With more SKUs and player hardware than ever before, it's impossible to cover every single combination. Using a backend and suitable telemetry pipeline, you can see every event your heart desires and create a data safety net to catch unreproducible events as they happen. You'll likely discover that your players are playing in ways that you never expected, maybe encountering a bug or a blocker that you couldn't find and you probably never would have found in QA. And you can use all that data to make informed choices about your future developments and updates and just general game health. UGC. Will I skip the section? Yeah. User engagement and community management. UGC is the next slide. User-generated content is everywhere nowadays, and for good reason. giving players the opportunity to build their own quests, tell their own stories, or even unique games within your own confines and rules of your game. It gives a sense of community and players a chance to engage in emergent play. Take a look at some of the incredible projects from within the Bethesda community series. Fallout London is practically DLC quality at this point. And on the other end of the spectrum, Mario Maker had it inbuilt, with some players able to make the most ingenious and devious levels possible, with hit YouTube series around the world showing off this. Support for UGC and mods has proven time and time again that they're nothing but a boon for developers. They give endless benefits: free content creation, boosting your SEO, attracting new players, and increasing your audience engagement. Player messages. We're seeing more and more examples of player messages. It's kind of its own UGC in a way. It can be comments on a Super Mario Maker level or helpful messages in Dark Souls. It provides yet another opportunity for your player self-expression. And it makes you feel like you're not alone. You're in an interconnected world and community. Community events. Getting lost in the game is one of the best feelings. However, community events are a way for solo players to feel like they're actually truly a part of the game. It gives you a chance to feel like there are like-minded players and join in with, helping going through these events. Quality of life. Having the ability to tweak your aspects of the game at will is incredibly powerful as a developer. Using server-side game data can give your players fresh experiences and provide you with higher player retention. Storing game logic online also gives you one huge advantage, which is that you can add new content to your game quickly and easily. You can add new quests, you can swap in and out NPCs, or you can even create entirely new ones on the fly. We really are in the age of cloud saves. With the release of the Steam Deck, players can now stop playing on PC, rush out of the house, jump on a train, pick out their Steam Deck, and play from where they left off. Or maybe you need some help from a friend. Beating a boss you just can't handle, but he plays on Xbox, you play on PlayStation. With a backend, you can link your account and use a cloud save to pick up where you left off in their house on their console. We've also just seen the rise of companion experiences over the past decade, whether it be synchronous play or an overarching meta, or some bonus minigames. You can utilize your player accounts and their data and create a unique secondary play and engagement and engagement wherever they may be. So, does my single player game need to always be online? Heck no. Of course, it depends on your implementation, but I think we can all point to a game that became simply unplayable when the always online servers were turned off. Anyway, it's become a selling point for you to be able to say, you're always going to be able to play our game. So, we recommend to all our single-player titles that they use, that they ensure that the game functions without ever talking to a server. You should utilize online backends to enhance your experience, but never drive it. Always follow a pattern that ensures you have at least a basic local config copy. And then you can update the cache over time as you proceed. You drive adoption of your online experiences. And by making it engaging and worthwhile for your players, you can give them some cool in-game items for linking their accounts, or by completing specific actions in one game, you can get an entitlement in another. And for the most important part, you need to make it seamless. You need to remove the barriers to entry. So, why does your single-player game need a backend? You can learn what your users really like about the game. You can keep your game fresh for years to come. You can fix balance issues on the fly. You can sync player data and progress to the cloud and across different platforms. You can own your users' data and reward loyalty, and incentivize player engagement and react to their feedback. AccelByte helps our clients operate online games. That doesn't just mean multiplayer games. Thank you for your time. I'm Andrew. That's my email there, but feel free to come up to me afterwards.